What's up, guys? Brett Okamoto from ESPN. I'm joined today by UFC lightweight #1 contender. I'm just going to go ahead and make it official. Justin Gaethje, who is back home after his phenomenal fight against Michael Chandler at UFC 268 last weekend. And Justin, I don't even know where to start, man, after a fight like that. But I think the first thing that popped out when we got on here on this FaceTime call is that for a fight that was looked at as a war and fight of the year, you don't look too beat up, man. How are you feeling physically after a fight like that?
I feel great. My legs a little messed up. Those kicks are no freaking joke, man. He landed some really heavy, hard kicks in that first round. But yeah, man, it was great. After the first round, he did not touch me many times. I know it looks
Yeah.
crazy. His antics really, it's crazy. The human aspect that is in this sport, and him doing all those things is kind of gaining in points and making it look like it's competitive in a way, but 2 and 3 were absolutely dominant rounds for me. I did not get hit much or take much damage. I don't count body shots, so that's why I say that. But he did land some good body shots too.
Yeah, he did. He was still throwing hard to the body. Why don't we count body shots? I think most of us do. Why do you not?
Yeah, the only way to make someone absolutely either stop an organ or take away their ability to not want to fight anymore is kick them in the calf, leg, or knock them out and put them to sleep. It's almost impossible. You don't see many body shot. Not me, anyways. They don't count on me, I guess. I pay people in practice if they with body shots. So you're gonna have to break a rib in
Well,
order to get any kind of effective.
well, that's interesting, man, to hear you, because it doesn't necessarily surprise me to hear you say that, because it did feel like you were in control during the second and third rounds. But for all of us, spectators who just enjoyed the fight so much and the fans were going crazy still on the second and third rounds, like, do you feel like maybe your perception or your feeling of the fight is not the same as ours? Like when you see people saying like that was the best fight I've seen in years, like are you like, nah, it really wasn't because it wasn't competitive? Or you feel like you have a different feeling than
No,
we do?
no, I don't believe that. I think it's what this sport is, man. It was inspiring. Not often or ever does somebody get to beat me in the inspirational department in that cage or in there. And Michael Chandler did that, and I'm so happy for him that he's getting the recognition for that. And yeah, just his ability, his ability that we all have to just make a choice. He made a choice that he was not going to give in, give up, and that's it wasn't smart, man. His body numerous times tried to give him the way out, so that he didn't have to take the damage that he ultimately incurred. Thank God it was not 5 rounds, because some people roll with shots. Tony Ferguson rolls with shots. He doesn't absorb all the energy that I'm creating. And Michael Chandler was a brick wall. Every time I hit him, felt like I was hitting a wall, and he absorbed and took so much energy and damage that yeah, I'm glad it wasn't longer. But it was, of course, it had everything that fighting is. I can't imagine just if there was a from space, and a light of energy. As soon as whenever that fight ended, it was just a pop of energy around the world. People, and that was because the inspiration that they just saw, the inspiration that they're feeling, through me and through Michael. It was a special night, special moment. I think as time goes on, it just gets better because what actually happened was phenomenal.
For you, is there one moment in the fight that stands out above all the rest that was like kind of ingrained in your memory? Like what's the strongest memory of like single moment of the fight for you?
Dude, it's so. Um, I'm definitely different, man. I don't remember the crowd one time. I don't remember a thing. One time I hit him with like a switch right hook, and I saw his feet kind of step fast. He got a little bit. So in my mind, I was like, oh, he might be hurt, and that was the only thought I had the entire fight. I did not. Again, I need to fight in front of more people. I need 50,000, 100,000 people so I could hear that. I could not hear it.
Huh. What's interesting to me, man, is that like, you've talked about this obviously a lot, is that you kind of underwent like this change in mentality where after those couple losses, you told Trevor that you wanted to not be the most entertaining anymore. You wanted to be more technical. You wanted to put these guys away and win a championship. But in a fight like that, when it turns into sort of like I wouldn't want to say a brawl because you were still under control the whole time, but it's almost like, dude, your pocket awareness and you're just so comfortable. Like you're just so comfortable when guys are throwing everything they got at you because you fought like that for years, right? I mean, does it almost give you an advantage when a fight turns into that you were trying to be the more technical guy in there, but you also are the more capable brawler, even if that's where the fight tends to go.
Yeah, no, I mean, dude, there was no brawl happening. I had control of every situation, other than like for like 90 seconds of the first round, I controlled every situation. Learning process. It's been more of just a learning process, needing to understand how, when, or why I need to fight in a certain. It's always the same way. I didn't fight any different that night than I fought any other fight. It was just styles make matchups, and everyone's going to look slightly different. But if you go back to the Barboza or any of those fights, it was the same exact fight, but I just didn't make the same choices. And again, the going through the Tony Ferguson fight with the no crowd, it really allowed me the opportunity to learn how, when, and why I'm affected by outside energy. And yeah, that
Mm,
is the biggest factor of the whole thing. It was this, and now I'm
yeah.
able to make the choices. I still start too fast. I did this fight, but man, I learned so much this fight. You know, that's going to I'm going to be better next fight. I'm so much better now than I was last fight. And the fight before, I think the Habib camp plus the losing plus being able to train for the last 11 months. I've been able to get so much better. And yeah, now I believe in it. Now I'm confident in it. I've always questioned it, but I'm going to prevent myself from ever doing that again, because what I showed myself on Saturday was incredible, and I gotta take it for what it is.
Yeah, for sure. And was it ever hard? Like when he's doing things like going like this and spitting blood on the canvas, and I mean, I'm sure that there's a part of you that wants to engage in some of that, right? But you didn't, man. I mean, you were like you were pretty stone faced throughout the entire thing. Was it ever difficult not to kind of engage in some of that stuff?
It was never a factor. It was never like, oh, I need to pull this in. I never went there. Like, I never left, my center. Like in the back, I close my eyes, stand on one leg, and really just try to find my center and where my center is, and then yeah, nobody's allowed to control that. And yeah, he did not. Luckily, I didn't have to. If you're losing a fight, then you got to take chances and come out and make changes on the way. But yeah, man, it was perfect.
What do you guys talk about after the fight? When you embrace like that and you hug a little bit, and then at the hospital afterwards, like what kind of interactions did you have with him after the fight?
Yeah, it was. It's hard to remember exactly in those moments. I mean, there's so much going on, but I'm pretty sure, immediately was. If I remember correctly, I think it was something like, him saying, we should, you don't hate me, or, you know, I could tell that, uh, me telling, saying I didn't like him, you know, for people like us, we don't appreciate that, because I'm sure he felt like he didn't do anything to deserve that hate. And then I told him
Hmm.
that I never hated him, and he was trying to take everything from me, so he had to be that guy. And I think that was
Yeah.
the exchange real quick, and then we started talking about golf, and you try to start. For one, all the pain in that moment is rushing into. You don't feel nothing until that moment, and then you're trying to just talk about anything. We're talking about golf, um, trying to get through to get to the back to start. to get off camera, so that we can be
Yeah.
human again.
Yeah, yeah, man, I can't imagine. Uh, when you start to feel the pain like immediately after the fight, like it sets in like
It
instantly as
depends.
soon as the final bell's over.
It depends what injury you would incur, but yeah, this one for sure. We our both of our legs are so jacked up for sure,
Yeah,
for sure. There's no doubt about it.
yeah.
Mine's getting better day by day, but I've never been kicked like this consistently in the same spot. I know I've done this to so many people, and man, do I feel bad for that because it hurts bad. For a
What is your
while.
phone like after a fight like that? I mean, you got the phone plugged in, and is it just like nonstop? I mean, who are you hearing from, and how many people are you hearing from after something like that?
Yeah, I mean, you, I just keep control of all that. I try to get back to people, but I'll probably get back in the day. Like 2, 3 years ago, I'd get hundreds of messages. Now, now it's more like 50, 60. I feel bad sometimes because I don't, I have so much support, and I like, I'm weird. Like when I see people, it's like I just seen him yesterday, and they're my best friend. Like my brother, we don't talk a lot on the phone, but when I see him, best friend ever. Like I don't know, I don't take it in. I appreciate it. I read it, and like I read all the comments on the internet. Like I'm a weird dude, and I really appreciate all the support, but I can't give give it back because I am so focused, and it sounds like a terrible excuse. Like I'm too busy. Like what are you busy doing? Like I'm busy doing absolutely nothing. Like I need to stay. I need to not wait. And so I feel bad that I don't engage, and so it's got less over the years because of that. Because I'm less on the engagement. But I do. I appreciate every time. Facebook. They took my Facebook away, and Facebook was my only connection to home, and that's where I would get to see how happy my town is from my success, or the support I get from from the being defeated. That was where that source was, and Facebook took my shit away. So now I have no connection to like home, other than through phone
Uh,
calls and text. Now I have no connection, but yeah, that sucks. That was one of my favorite ways to stay, but man, I can't get off the phone. Actually, like I love watching fans reaction videos. Yeah, I can't stay off the phone, but I'm not communicating with people. I'm just more you know appreciating the fact that people enjoy this. I want to see everybody's reaction to the fight. Yeah,
yeah.
it's I'm all over the place.
No, man, I wouldn't be too hard on yourself for that one. I think you just putting on the fights is probably enough for the fans. They're not expecting a response. In fact, like after a fight like that, I would expect you to do nothing. Like I would expect you to literally do nothing and not have to worry about responding to hundreds of people. So you got this fight. Obviously, I agree with you, and the judges agreed with you too. I mean, 29-28, 29-28, 30-27, right? It was as entertaining of a fight it was a very convincing, clear-cut win. So you feel very confident, I imagine. Like your next fight is for a championship. I know that there was like,
Yeah,
there's never a guarantee in this sport, but you're kind of guaranteed it at this point, right?
yeah. I think the travesty to the integrity of the sport would be too great if I didn't get it now. Before they could have done it, but now, you know, they would have. To, I would hope some journalists would make people answer some really hard, serious questions if I didn't get the case, if I didn't get the shot.
Yep. Do you want to do the whole thing where you come out to Vegas on December 11th and sit front row, and there's maybe you can shout something to the winner in the octagon? Like, are you interested in any of that?
I wouldn't mind. I mean, I wouldn't mind being in the building to watch the fight, to watch fights. I love MMA. I love watching fights. I love being in that
Mhm.
crowd, in that whole thing. But I won't need to say anything. I won't need to say anything. Hey, dude, like I don't know. Again, like none of this is. Uh, it'll all be greater when I'm actually done. Like nothing is as consistent and constant as myself in that arena. Um, and yeah, so I don't need to say it. That's the best thing is I do not have to say a word, and I still, I could do things outside of the cage to increase my, popularity amongst, the general population. But I don't got to do a thing to make money and fight because of the way that I am and the way that I fight. Like you have to see me fight live, and that is yeah, that's my biggest factor. That's my favorite thing is I don't got to be Kobe Covington to get paid in this.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's obviously going to be Oliveira or Poirier. You said right off the bat that you want Oliveira in Brazil or Poirier in Louisiana. I would love to see that, man. Why do you want to go into hostile territory? Like, why is that something that you want extra?
Because man, I'm only gonna. I only get these opportunities one time, and that's the best. There's nothing like it. Nothing like it. Nothing when I coming from Safford, a small town, going to Phoenix and going in there and whooping these kids, in front of all their people. I don't know. There's something about it.
Well, hey, that leads into my last question, man. And I loved what you said after the fight, and I got to ask you if you meant it literally. Do you really believe that you should have been born back in the Coliseum days, and you feel like your real destiny should have been you were back there, and that's where you would have your last breath is in the Roman Coliseum when someone stabs you with a spearhead or something?
I wouldn't be a dead. They would be dead. I would still be alive. I'd have like 500 babies, and it's just different times. We're living in different times. I love how far we have come as humans. But yeah, those are different times. The only reason, in a way, I was saying that because this wasn't over. I knew people were gonna say, like it's hard to understand how much damage I incurred, he incurred, and what actually happened in there. Without us fighting to the death, people don't know how much better I was. So that was my only complaint or reason I got there. But no, I'm glad I don't have to kill these guys, and no, I'm glad my family doesn't have to see me die. Like no, but we are those dudes from that time living in today. Like you guys, that's who we are. So
For sure, no doubt about it. And maybe you're right. Maybe you won't get the full. Maybe you won't get the full recognition of how wide you think the difference in the fight was, but I think a lot of people loved the fight, of course, and they were very impressed with your performance. And I do believe that you will be fighting for a title in the first half of next year. So we will talk to you. We'll talk to you around then, and maybe you'll come out to Vegas and see the fight, and then we'll talk to you in December as well.
all right, see you later.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.